Hundreds would march on the sundered peak, where stands a guard of the ancient creek. His stance is strong, but his sight is weak, and so he's known by the art of his creed. A monk he is of the eastern night, and his hands are cold with the flurry of the might. And so the conflict would succumb to his plight, where hundreds did march, and hundreds did die. Hello and welcome to a very special monk build for Reaper of Souls. In a world full of perma serenity and bell spam builds, here comes an epic build that lets monk play on greater rifts by using a very unorthodox but unique set of skills. What's more, this build deals damage by using a spirit generator and relies on gear sets and skills you probably never used before. So welcome the long awaited Slumbering Dragon, and here is how it all works. The sheer uniqueness of this build can be understood by looking at the gear set. The items listed are all cores and must not be replaced with another one unless stated so. To start things off, you'll need a 4-piece Enos set that includes a head, torso, waist and boot slot. Next up are the 2 items from the new raiment set that includes shoulders and gloves. Strangely enough, no royal ring this time, as you'll be going for set rings that go by the name of Focus and Restraint. Your pants would be Depth Diggers followed by an S of Zohan for your amulet and a Kol Gungdo gear for braces. Finally, the weapon of your choice would be the Flying Dragon with the highest weapon damage possible. Your Paragon points fall into the usual offensive slots such as crit chance, crit damage, attack speed, and also include allocation into armor and all resistance wherever possible. Legendary gems are what extends the reach of this build and include a Simplicity Strength, Bane of the Trapped, and Esoteric Alteration. As always, a detailed version of all the gear set and the reasons for their choosing is described in a text post that can be found in the description of this video. Such unique choice of items must definitely be complemented by using an unorthodox array of skills. So start off by using Way of 100 Fist Wind Force Flurry as our primary damage dealer. Your secondary skill is a good old Exploding Palm with Impending Doom. Next up is your Serenity Ascension for defensive purposes followed by Dashing Strike Radiance for positioning superiority. Mystic Ally Air Ally provides distraction and damage, whereas Inner Sanctuary Forbidden Palace is just everything a monk needs. Your passives are Seize the Initiative, Alacrity, Sixth Sense and Beacon of Yitar. For lower greater rifts less than 40, one can replace Sixth Sense with Relentless Assault if need be. But all these are just skills and items that don't really mean much unless we look at the inner workings of this build. So let's move on to the next part, shall we? This build is named Slumbering Dragon as it amplifies the damage from your spirit generators and allows you to stay alive whilst you deal this damage. With your actives and passives working together, your crits can be as high as 600 million and your toughness easily exceeding 30 million. But let's break this up into 2 aspects, first being our ability to deal damage. With the new changes to raiment set, your generators now have higher attack speed and deal 500% more damage. This number is further amplified when using items and passives that increase your damage output even further. In other words, when you combine this damage with Depth Diggers, Simplicity Strength, skill bonus from items and passives, your primary spirit generator will hit like a truck. However, if one were to use Wind Force Flurry as a rune for Way of 100 Fist, the skill damage of 500% gets multiplied to a point where you can easily crit for 450 million and take this number even higher from the procs from your Flying Dragon and Inner Sanctuary. This results in a monk that only uses generator that can attack at extreme rates and deal damage without costing any spirit. And this spirit just sits there and grants you further damage bonus thanks to the Focus and Restraint combo. So you now see we're actually getting into the crazy DPS territory, right? The second aspect of this build is survivability, and this is achieved by having a toughness of 30 million or so. This may sound extreme and hard to accomplish, but is easily attainable from Enos bonus, your passives, and from the effect of the legendary gem. In battle, when your well-being is threatened, skills like Inner Sanctuary gives you toughness bonus along with a good old panic button in the form of Serenity Ascension. This makes your monk tanky and allows him to deal damage consistently to enemies surrounding him. Finally, let's talk about the playstyle one must follow to make this all shine. This build deals a ton of nuke damage to targets in a straight line, but to expand this damage in an AoE, simply apply an Exploding Palm to an enemy with the lowest HP and focus your assault on it. Once the marked target explode, procs from your Gungdo gear will ensure all enemies are marked and are ready for the next round of destruction. If facing a large group or if you're being overwhelmed by enemies, drop an Inner Sanctuary or Serenity to focus your damage on single target and the rest will fall like a house of cards. Remember, this build is about dealing burst damage to a single target and forcing an AoE explosion out of it. Your actives and passives will keep you alive and the procs from your Flying Dragon will help you to clear mobs and elites in mere seconds. So give this a go and share your thoughts with the rest of us. The Slumbering Dragon has finally awakened and offers a gameplay that has been completely missing in the past. No more playing with the same monotonous build, for it's time to strike with the Dragon Fist. This has been the Holy Hermits for you. Take care and remember to bow to your opponent before a fist fight, for there is no greater honor than being a humble winner.